What's up, guys? It's Missy. I'm back with another SimCity Buildit video, and today we're going to talk about regional coins. How to spend them, how to obtain them, what is the best thing that you can spend them on, and all that good stuff. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I have hit 1,000 subs, I want to say about 2 weeks ago, so every sub from here on is just another added benefit, and it all helps the monetization. You know, I've had a lot of people comment on how I talk on my videos and how I'm just so fluent with my speaking. And I'm like, you know, it's funny because I've been asked so many times, do I script my videos? And I'm like, no, I don't script them, and I don't edit them at all. It's just, you know, I hit the camera button, I talk, and then I hit it off, and then I upload it. You know, so I am kind of lazy in the editing video department. I do everything from my cell phone, so, you know, I don't have all the fancy programming and microphones and cameras and things like that that a lot of other YouTubers have. It's going to take a while for me to get all that kind of stuff and get to a point where I do things like that. So bear with me here, but nonetheless, I still try to give you guys the best advice possible, you know, so that you guys are getting at least accurate and useful information. All right, so regional coins. You have a regional map unlocked. Now, hopefully, when you unlocked this regional map, you were prepared to do so. If you're somebody who is not prepared to have a regional map unlocked, things are going to be very difficult for you. I mean, things are difficult for me and everybody else that has regionals because it just makes, you know, your game that much more difficult. But it is and can be fun. I'm glad that they added them to the game. I was super stoked when they did it because at the point in time when they had added the regional maps, they had only had the capital, obviously. We had no other options as far as like trees go. So as far as designing, we didn't have any cool trees. So I was super happy to see that we finally got some different types of trees. Now, had they been able to I kind of wish that they hadn't screwed us over and added such hard items to get and obtain. But, you know, it wouldn't be fun if the game was super, super easy. Unfortunately, though, they've made this game pretty much impossible unless you camp low level and get everything done at the lower level, you know, which really sucks. So, all right, let's go to one of my regional maps here with a little bit of space on it. So the way that you're going to obtain regional currency, there's a couple of ways here. And regional currency to me is extremely valuable, and it's more valuable to me than regular currency. So I do not sell my regional items for regular coin. Now, the reason that regional currency is so valuable to me is because, first off, regular coin is so easy to get, especially when you know which items that you should be producing for basically the highest value possible, which I have videos on all that stuff. But the reason that they're valuable to me is because my capital map is pretty much completed. And being able to buy trees when I do my designs, being able to buy those hot spots and get those upgraded for 5-pointer epic buildings, it's a huge benefit. So the hot spots and the trees is what gets it for me. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't care about, let's say, design. Let's say you care about strictly population. Regional currency can be a benefit to you as well because of those hotspots. So what is a hotspot? A hotspot is a building that you unlock based on which map you unlock. So let's say that you unlock the cactus map and you click on, let's say, the transportation tab. If you scroll to the end of this screen here, you'll hold down your pointer on one of the buildings here, and it says Department of Transportation is what's required, obviously, but it says regional population from the Sunny map. Okay, that is the map that you need to unlock in order to unlock this building. Now, notice how it says 15% to 80% on the boost, and it says 1 to 5 on the epic. That means that when you place this building down, it will need upgraded, but that is the maximum that it can be and the minimum that it can be. So I have 3 in storage right now. You can have as many as you can fit on your map. You purchase them for $1,500, and then depending on what level it is will determine how much regional currency is required. So you'll see a little green arrow, an up arrow here. You click on that and it tells you which level this building is. See how it says level 5 right under the name? And then it says the upgrade cost is 11,000 of the leaf simoleons. That's the one that it's asking for. If I click the little eye here, it tells me what I get on my next upgrade. I'll be a level 6, I'll have a 40% pop boost, and it'll go from a 2-pointer to a 3-pointer. Now, if I choose to upgrade, it's going to take 11,000 of my leaf simoleons, okay? So, these things are not cheap. Now, how do you get to the point where you can continue to upgrade? You do not always have the next upgrade unlocked. You have to get population on your regional map in order to unlock new hotspot levels. You may have noticed when you were, building homes on your regional map that it said new hotspot level unlocked, and it showed you a little icon. That is what that means. So usually what I do is I try to buy as many regionals as I can, and I try to produce them as frequently as possible. Then I wait for these little bubbles to pop up with good deals, and I sell them to the little bubbles. Now, unfortunately, the regional currency versus the regular currency is so unbelievably drastically lower. For instance, 5 motors sells for 10,000 regular coin, but they want 14 of them for 1,161 regional coin. So it's a pretty significant drop. Although, it pretty much comes down to you have the small regional items, which I'll show you here in the shop. This is your factory regional item. This is what I refer to as the small regional item. Now, this one takes 16 minutes. This one here is what I refer to as the medium regional item. This one takes 1 hour 36 minutes. And then this one takes 3 hours and 12 minutes. Okay? So they want 14 of these for 1,161 regional currency. Now, on average, the large regional item sells for right around, I want to say, 86 to 97 regional coins a piece, right? Now, it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes it's drastically lower. So you have to keep an eye on the offers that it gives you. And that goes the same for Omega and anything else that the game does when it offers you currency. So always be very careful which ones you accept and which ones you do not accept. Now, typically, what I do is I even buy some of the factory regionals, in bulk, and then I'll come over to my regional map and I'll make, 100 regional coins here, 200 there. It's a pretty good way to make regional currency. It's certainly easier than depending on just the motors, right? Because I can make more buying a bunch of the regional factory items from Global in a fraction of the time than I can sit here and make one motor. Now, obviously, the shop needs to be running anyways, right? So I usually try to keep at least something making in this shop at all times. Now, that's not necessarily a money-making benefit so much as it is a designing benefit, right? In terms of making money, these are really difficult because of the materials required. So, for instance, the Sunny drinks, those ask for melon, and it's kind of ridiculous, the robes ask for like paint and blue text. The motors ask for drills, all items that are not high profitable items. So you have to be very careful what you make and and how you're obtaining these items. If you're purchasing the materials, then yeah, go ahead. But if you're not purchasing them and you're making them and then trying to make, like if you're actually trying to do this for coin, that's ridiculous, you know? Just be aware of that, okay? Making a drill in your hardware store to make a motor over here is going to turn less of a profit than, let's say, making a bunch of hammers in the hardware store instead, right? So just be aware of that. Okay, the next way that you can earn regional currency is by doing your regional shipments. These shipments do not start until you click them. Notice how the timer just begun since I clicked it. So once I hit start shipment, it's going to ask me for items. I donate these items and then I get the bonus reward on the right hand side. Once I complete these 3 rows, it's going to send off for a new truck, which takes 2 hours to show up. If I want that truck to show up immediately, I have to pay $10, okay? Then I do another 3 rows and I get another truck in 2 hours, or I have to pay again, which the price goes up each time. At the end of the 24-hour period, however many rows you have completed will determine how many piggy banks you're allowed to purchase. If you did 9 rows, you can purchase all 3 piggy banks, and they're $2.99 a piece. Now, you don't have to purchase them, obviously. It's totally optional. But once that 24 hours is up, that truck is gone, and you have to wait the remaining, whatever the timer says, until it comes back again. But that offer for the piggy bank is valid during that time. So you usually have like 2 or 3 days to buy the piggy banks. Now, aside from the regional bubbles that pop up and the shipments, there's little to no other way to get regional currency aside from purchasing something with regional currency and bulldozing it. Now, I am not a fan of this method at all. A lot of people use this method for, let's say, Omega, like they'll buy like an Omega beach item and they'll bulldoze it for half price. Now, to me, that's foolish. You're bulldozing your work and your hard-earned money because at some point you had to earn those currencies, and then sell them to get enough to buy that. And then you bulldoze it for half? That just is retarded. So if it was me, I would definitely make sure that I was not bulldozing things. I heard somebody tell me that he would buy regional trees and then he would bulldoze them for half price. Now, to me, that's foolish. But then again, I like design and efficiency. So being 100% efficient and being all about design, that definitely does not fit into that. Okay? So how should you spend your regional currency? Well, as I stated before, there's only a couple of things that you can actually purchase with the regional items. You have to purchase regional coverage for your people. So that's one thing that you will need to invest in. The next thing that you need to invest in almost immediately, the very first thing, aside from your first initial coverage zone here, should be the $5,000 storage facility that you get when you do your regional items. Now, when you first unlock a regional map, you will be allowed to purchase a storage facility for 5,000 regional currency. It gives you a total of 20 storage immediately after buying the facility, meaning you do not need to have any kind of storage items to get this. So if you look here, I do not have a government tab on this map, but the very last thing says regional population 5,000, and it says the price is 5,000 regional currency, and then it says capacity is 20. So you're not using any kind of rares to get these. Each map allows you to purchase one storage facility worth 20 space. That means that if the maximum is 700 for the game, that once you have unlocked all 5 maps, you'll have 800 space and then whatever the temp storage is on the pass. So in case you were wondering what the max storage is, it's 700 and then 20 per regional map and then temp storage from VU Pass and Mayor's Pass. Okay? All right. So the next item that you can purchase with regional currency is the hotspots, as we already discussed, which you can upgrade. And then you have your regional trees, right? Now, if you scroll over here, you will see each map has its own style tree. So when you make your selection on which regional map that you want, you should take that into consideration. You know, pick out which one you like the best hotspots, which one you like the trees, and what layout you like the best. Taking all of those things into consideration before making your selection. Now me, when I first started doing regional maps, I had only 3 maps available to me. The very first one that I unlocked was the Green Valley. The second one was the Frosty. And the third one, I believe, was the Sunny map. Fourth was Cactus, and then fifth was Limestone, if I remember right. You know, it's really difficult. I'm not going to lie. It's really hard when you have all the maps unlocked and you're trying to do epic projects because they become extremely expensive. And regional items are not something that are typically sold on the global market. So trying to have a well-rounded, you know, inventory of those for the contest of mayors and for your epics is not easy. They take up a lot of space in your inventory, even though you get, you know, a whopping 20 space. I don't think that they gave us anywhere near enough, because you have to take into consideration you unlocked 4 additional items, right? So they basically gave us 5 space for each one, and it just is ridiculous because the factory item and then the 3 regional items, and then you get a whopping 20 space. So if you are having difficulties completing epic projects, if your storage is not maxed out, if you are not at max land, max storage, max mountain and beach, if your capital map is not pretty much 100% completed, you should not be unlocking regionals. They literally make every aspect of your game that much harder. They can ask you for regional items for shipments, epic projects, all kinds of stuff. And they basically increase the difficulty of every aspect of the game. Not to mention, they are not easy to find on the global market. It's just, all around, they're not meant for beginner players. These were introduced into the game after so many people had been playing for many years. They had a lot of buildings that they couldn't fit on their regular map, and they basically were bored. You know, we were super bored. I had so much stuff in storage that I had no room to put it anywhere. So when I got the opportunity to buy more maps, I was stoked. I was like, oh yeah, hell yeah. Then they introduced the trees and the hotspots later, and it was like, sweet. You know, finally I got something else to do and work towards. So, you know, it is really, really cool, but what's happening is the new players are unlocking it way too early, and they are destroying their game because they have this huge difficulty level. They have all these items that are being expected of them that are, you know, extremely expensive and hard to get, and they bit off way more than they could chew. And so just be aware of that and do not unlock regionals too early. You will have your time to design and things like that, but you will make yourself and your experience miserable if you unlock these maps too early. If you have unlocked the maps too early and you think that you may need to restart, it's probably a good idea, because if you haven't already, watch my restart videos. Okay, so in terms of trees, which one do I like the best? They're all the same price. You know, honestly, I think they all have their uniqueness about them. I really, really like the Green Valley ones because they popcorn out and they actually look really good up against the water. They make it look like more natural because they kind of hang over the water. This one here, the limestone ones, they almost like glow in the dark, and they're super tall, so they can be seen behind tall buildings, which is really nice, and they look really good at night. This one here, the sunny one, the palm tree, it's excellent to line the water with if you want to be able to, you know, see a building behind it, because it's not too too dense and thick, and you can see past it. So it's a good tree to use right at the front of the building. And then you have the Joshua tree and the small spruce forest. The forest I really like because it kind of accents off the other colors because it's so dark. And then you have the Joshua tree, which is, again, it's really thin, so it can be placed in front of buildings and still be able to be seen. So as far as design goes, that's the tips that I have for those trees. And then you have these trees here. Now the small, the little small light green ones, those, I really like those when I want to be able to see the building behind it because they're super short, right? And they kind of brighten things up. Now, the small pine forest, I like that because of the colors. It makes the colors pop, and they're slightly tall, but not too tall. And then you have the yellow trees, which I like because those add color to your map. And they just look really good, and they brighten stuff up, like if you're near a beach or whatever. That's basically the gist of what I have to say about the trees. Now, these here, I mean, I don't use them a whole lot, but I haven't really done a lot of design on my cactus map yet. But I think that try to keep everything themed. I think that that is what is important, is that people remember that certain maps should have certain buildings placed on them, and to try to theme everything to its place, right? And, you know, I mean, try to keep it to where when you do your displays, you fine-tune everything. And by that, I mean, getting the main buildings placed is one thing, but kind of zooming in and adding that extra detail and taking that extra time, it makes a huge difference. For instance, one of the people in my group, he had just graduated my contest mayors training course. He had redesigned his map. He's been working on it a little bit. And last night I had taken a look, and he had a similar building style, design style that I use. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what he's been working on. If I can find out where his map is here. Let's see. Aha. Okay, so many of you guys have probably seen him on my stream. This is Sydney, Mr. Pill Poppins. And he, his city was pretty sad looking the other day, but he put a couple of really decent hours into his map here. And this is what he's got going on so far. So the front of his city, it looks like he put little shops. Now, my map used to have the same exact rivers going right through the shops, just like his. I took mine out because I wanted to just go back to the way that I didn't like the way that they looked so cut. If I was him, I may open that up and make it maybe 3 or 4 wide instead of 2 wide, but honestly, it looks excellent. He did an excellent job. The mountain homes, they look great. The trees look really good. I like all the bright colors. Now, he doesn't have regionals unlocked, so, you know, he did what he could. But it looks really, really good. So, you know, don't try to unlock regionals prematurely just simply for the trees. Be patient because you can make things look good without them. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get this posted, and I will get some more videos up later.